go, man. You know what time it is. Let's MFing go. There's only one way to start it, man. Only one way to start it. Welcome everybody to the big broadcast, y'all. Welcome to the big broadcast, man. We are going on episode. I can't believe we're here. If you're listening on the audio only platforms, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, long-time listeners, new listeners, everybody in between, new watchers, everybody in between. I should have given you something yesterday, but I did not. I had previous functions and commitments, but we got to start this, man, with some Candy Rain, man. You know what I mean? We got to start this with some Candy Rain, and we got to start with Soul for Real. Just kidding. We're starting with a remix. So, y'all, if y'all coming in, you have to do one thing, which is like the stream. Give me 5 stars. Wait, let's chill. Give me 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like the stream if you here. If you want a super chat, send that super chat. If you rock it with me to that level. But we have to do this before we get into that because this song is it's banned. And we're getting banned. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk tonight. And if you have your drink up, you better have your sip up. Cheers to us, cheers to me, cheers to y'all. And we gotta get it. We gotta get it. We gotta go get it. We gotta go get it. Gotta go get it. Gotta go get it. Stop playing. Stop playing, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Fair use, of course. You know how that goes. Man. I know y'all just came in. You better smash that like button. Smash that like button, man, as y'all coming. We're gonna have fun tonight. We're gonna have a vibe tonight. Saturday night live. I'm not that wackish, y'all. To think about. We're gonna do something different. Saturday night live. Get in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's get it.
Your super suit.
I tell your old nigga that. And if you were just anybody watching this, you gotta tell your old nigga he's a dub. You gotta tell your old nigga he's a dub because I'm here. We here. Let's go. Let's go. Go. 30, 30, go. Fair use, yo. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, you know I go ahead, baby.
Fair use. That Ashanti flip. It was the Ashanti sampling that really got it popping, you know?
She say,
Mm. Mm-mm. And of course, when I need it, go to the next thing, man. Let's go to the next thing. Let's move on, bro. I like this one. Now the ads. Let's move on. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's Man, Brilo's crazy. He is crazy. I want people to get in the chat if you know this track. What does it sample from? Like which artist and which song is it sample from? This is a legendary sample. I'm gonna test y'all hip hop knowledge a little bit tonight as we go have fun and we talk about what we're gonna talk about. We gotta have a little fun before we talk about the real ish. So which artist and what song is sampled for this By the way, I want to say this slightly. Isn't it kind of impressive how much Lil Baby's coming back? Lil Baby had a big slump, and he's actually slowly coming back with verses like this. I was very, very impressed. I might even run it back. We might have to run it back a little bit. Let's go.
If you with me for a week, I gotta get her own B&B. I finna mix you in with my nigga.
By the way, YTB Fat has a horrible verse on this, man. Absolutely atrocious. Ruins half the song. Rodeo by Juvenile. Classic song. Classic song. Mood. How y'all feel, man? How y'all feel? Let's go one R&B before we get to the nonsense. Again, I appreciate everybody who came in to rock with your boy. Get on that like button. We're gonna have fun, man. We're having fun. We're taking it one more time to the 90s, man. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Fair use, fair use. You already know. If you are going to be able to listen to everything, you're gonna hear the full raw, uncut everything on Patreon. I'll have the Patreon link somewhere around the description. Irregardless of that, or regardless of that, make sure you check out the Patreon, only $5, exclusive content, and there's extra content, bonus content if you rock with what I'm doing. If you want to support your boy and everything in between, we gotta fight the algorithm, man. I'm telling you right now, I'm not special, but I'm here giving y'all content, keeping y'all content, and giving y'all what you need to know, not what you want to know. You know what I mean? The fact remains this is this: giving y'all what you need is actually my job. Giving y'all the entertainment you need is my job. Sprinkling in a little bit of education, that's my job. That's what I do. You feel me? That's what I do. I don't do what y'all do. I do something different. What is different is I give you the entertainment that you need. I give you the content that you need. You know what I mean? Of course, when I play some of my music, started off and get people coming in the chat and people vibing, that takes some time, and I have to monitor that because YouTube don't play. They're gonna censor. They're gonna downvote. They're gonna find ways to make sure that the content and the message does not come out. Especially the topic I'm gonna talk about today. I want y'all to go out of your way to show your boy some love, man. When I say show your boy some love, I want y'all to smash that like button. I want y'all to go out of your way to make it work for your boy. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Help your boy. Let's grow. Let's make things happen. You feel me? You feel me? Give me something to love. Let's go. Mm. when really I say it all the time, bro. When niggas was really singing, okay, maybe I should not use profanity. I need to work on that. When dudes were really singing to and I'm gonna say singing. Now look, they might have been doing some player ish on the side, you know what I mean? But you have to you have to make her feel good, man. You have to make her feel oh so good. And these mans were singing. Shout out to Babyface. Shout out to John B. You don't have an era right now where the singing dudes are shining, unfortunately. Sad truth. And of course, when it gets to its best part, it starts playing games. Hey man, this is a fantastic song, man. This is a fantastic song. I'm a big fan of it. Man is really singing how he feels about, the woman, the lady. Say like, yo, how impressive is the dudes is really singing like this? Like having a voice like that, that's really a skill and talent, you know? Half of these MFers out here cannot sing, period, to save their life out here, man. And you have MFers hitting notes at a high level, man. I salute it, bro. I salute. Y'all vibing with your boy, man, on this Saturday night, man. I love y'all. Someone to love. I love y'all. Let's let's go, man. I love it, man.
Someone to know. Oh,
Someone to touch, someone to hold, someone to know. Hey man, as y'all know, man, you get to view this and watch it all in its glory on the Patreon. I'm gonna remove this off YouTube for obvious monetization reasons. Appreciate y'all for vibing, man. We're gonna vibe some more before we get to the political nonsense, but we can still have some fun with some music, right? We can have some fun with some music. You better smash that like button as you come in. Let's go, man. This is the last track before we get it. Yeah, I like that. I like that player type attitude. And think about this. Dude is saying some real. By the way, that's Claudia Jordan, man. That's Claudia Jordan finance. If you don't know who Claudia Jordan is, shout out Claudia Jordan. You know what I mean? Get in the chat if y'all know who Claudia Jordan is. Claudia Jordan finance was in there. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a song that came out in early 2000s. Look at the finance the stream as y'all come in. We're doing a little bit R&B as a cleanse before we get to the nonsense that we're about to get to, which is American politics. I know. We gotta cleanse it, bro. We gotta cleanse the palate before we put it all the BS. Like the stream as y'all come in, man. Like the stream as y'all come in. Little R&B to freshen us. Say, guys, I really want to do one more song. Should I do one more song or should I chill? Should I do one more song or should I chill? Get in the comments. Let me know, chat. Cause I'm vibing. I am vibing. It's a Saturday night. Cheers to everybody here. Get in the chat. Let me know what you sipping on. Come on, man. We gotta
Howdy,
get to
Fetty.
something else though.
Let me tell you a little something about them yams.
But we gotta get to something, y'all. And I better see the likes actually matching what we getting in the viewership. Get in the likes, man. Get in the likes. I'm doing two more songs. I don't care, bro. I'm vibing. Saturday night, I deserve this. I had a long week. We are vibing. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. Come on now. I'm doing two more. Let's go. we going in the R&B bag, man. I didn't even expect this, but y'all, what y'all think of Brett Fayez, man? I think personally, I think he's phenomenal. But I want to get what y'all think. Get in the chat, man. Get in the chat. Obviously, y'all are coming in and vibing, man. Give your boy some stars. We're gonna talk about the political nonsense very soon, but we gotta start give y'all some perspective. This is Jackie Brown, played by the beautiful, sexy Pam Grier. Pam Grier was a very, sexy, beautiful woman. Shout out to Pam Grier. You know what I mean? This is old school, man. And when I say old school, I'm talking about 70s fine. You know what I mean? Meaning there was not an emphasis on, the over makeupification and what I mean, cosmetic procedures. Now, obviously, age and life gets at you. Gravity is real. You know what I mean? You're not going to be the same as you were prior in your essential prime. But Pam Grier, beautiful black woman, man. Fine ass. You know what I mean? Like fine, you know what I mean? Let's look up Pam Grier in the 70s, y'all. Pam Grier in the 70s, she was nothing to play with, man. Nothing to play with. You feel me? Come on now. Come on now. Damn. Like what's going on right here? Pam Grier, y'all. You know what? I'm not saying we need our black women to go back to this, but like black women, embracing the fro, man, the natural look, man. We love that. I mean, let's get rid of the wigs, man. I mean, let's get rid of the wigs, man. Look at Pam Grier finance with Richard Pryor, man. They were definitely doing a lot of drugs that night. They were doing all the drugs was consumed in that night. Look at the eyes. Pam Grier fine ass, man. It is what it is. She played Jackie Brown for some reference for this song, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Get the likes up, man. Get the likes up, man. Put some respect on the likes, people. Put some respect on the likes. Let's get it, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do something a little different before we move on and start the topic, man. Let's play. Let's play a little bit. Let's play a little bit. Like I don't even know why I say fair use because at the end product, these songs will not show up. Regardless of that, the fact remains that you can catch that on Patreon. But you know what I mean. Appreciate y'all for even tapping in. Let's go. By the way, rest in peace, Aaliyah, man. Really big loss and somebody who had so much potential, and it's horrible to see people lose their life due to the potential. You know, what I mean, not due to the potential. Sorry, lose their life when they had so much life in front of them. Right. That's why even sometimes I don't even want to stream, but I'll stream because there's a reason. You have to maximize the time that you have on this planet, y'all. You know what I mean? Because you never know the day on this fast. And now we had the main event, man. We had the main event. I won't hold you off for long, man. Because if you're watching the replay, there must be a lot of music that was cut and removed. A lot of it will be on Patreon and will be available on those spots. Now, this I'm gonna break down my review. I'm gonna say this from the beginning, from John, but I think Trump is going to win this election, and I think he's gonna win it in a very clear, concise way. There won't be a lot of drama, but it will probably take a few days, maybe 2 days, to decide the final winner because it can go very much two ways. Okay. Now I'm Canadian. I'm not American. Okay. So my analysis and my view of things is from a bird's eye. I'm not inside the mix. You know what I mean? Why do I predict Trump is going to win? It's because not only are the polls showing that, but the energy, at least of what I'm viewing from an outsider perspective, is leaning towards Trump. Now, what do I do as somebody who's responsible, as somebody who's going to give y'all at least a version of truth? At least I'm trying to inform and entertain y'all. You know what I mean? I'm trying to infotain. So what I do is I look at people who know more than me, right? Know more than me. So we're going to look at a liberal piece of media. We're going to look at a conservative piece of media. And then we're going to look at some people who swing more in the middle, right? So we're going to start off with the most recent one, with Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. He's a progressive, he's left wing, he's liberal. Let's see what he has to say, and we're going to read and react.
All right, guys, what is going on in this election? Kamala Harris takes the lead in the final
By the way, this came out about 3 hours ago from his platform, the Young Turks.
weekend. What? Wait till you get a load of this. Kamala Harris now leading in Iowa. What the Jesus? Okay, so I want to break down all the polls for you guys, and I'm going to tell you the two key demographics that are helping Kamala Harris take the lead here, maybe win the election.
The key, at least from my point of view, my analysis, black women. So not black women. Sorry, black men and white women. Those are the two most important demographics. Don't forget it. Black men and white women. Why does that matter? The election in 2016 between Trump and Hillary had a lot of white women vote for Trump. That put him over the edge in swing states. Okay. If you look at the elections in 2020, Trump versus Biden, okay, Jim Clyburn helped Biden secure South Carolina. And once South Carolina was secured in the primary races, Joe Biden was able to defeat Bernie Sanders, who should have gotten the nominee for the Democratic Party. But what happened later on is in the elections, Joe Biden still had a very high percentage of black male voters. According to the polling recently, a lot of black men, maybe close to 20%, are indicating they'll vote for Trump. If Trump is to indeed get 20, let's say even 18% of the black male vote, he is winning in a landslide. Why? Because Democrats perform at a 90% clip of black men and women, y'all. So black men and white women will decide this election. But let's hear what Cenk has to say.
This is stunning. I really can't believe it. So So I want to tell you all about it. First of all, remember, guys, uh, not only do we have the live show every day at 6 o'clock Eastern, and you should be checking that out because stuff like this happens all of a sudden. Like we're about to go on air, something breaks, and it's just amazing and exciting and dramatic. And let alone on election day. Oh my God, do not miss the Young Turks on election day. First of all, we're not going to do like, oh, hey, we want this person to win, so we're going to pretend they're winning. No, we're going to give you actual facts so you know exactly who's winning, whether we like it or not. And in this case, it might turn out that we do like it. And so it's going to be super exciting. We're starting at noon. And you could catch all of it at tyt.com. It'll just be on the main page at tyt.com. We'll also have polling results, exit polling, the latest in news.
I don't consider myself a leftist at all, but I will say this: TYT gives pretty good coverage now. They used to be not so great, but they improved greatly. So show love to the Young Turks and their
That day,
platform.
all of it underneath the video too. So make sure you're going to tyt.com on election day, starting at noon Eastern and all the way through well over 12 hours that day. Okay, so let me break it down for you guys. New poll out from a really reliable pollster that has nailed it within 1 to 2 points in most of the elections in recent history in Iowa. And she now leads by 3 points. That is unreal. But that's not the good news. That's because still I literally can't believe she's going to win Iowa, and she might not, right? But the underlying numbers is where the really great news is, because she's delivering on two demographics that she absolutely needs, and she's crushing in them. And this is the thing that I told you would be the key to Kamala Harris's victory if she wins, right? And so, but it's not surprising. You'll see in a second. But first, let me read you a bunch of polls that came
Get to the point.
out Friday to now. So just in the last 24 to 48 hours. And only a couple lean towards Trump, but with a couple of them with giant caveats and the others not with a caveat. So, and then I'll tell you the underlying.
Now let's keep it real, man. Cenk is clearly cheering for the Democrats, right? That's why I'm gonna show y'all the Republican one or right leaning one soon. But we gotta start with this one too to get his point of view. I'm gonna give y'all my analysis. Remember what I said. Kamala Harris needs white women to go to the polls heavily and black men to not support Donald Trump. Let's go.
Numbers, which is the most important. By the way, guys, I'll try to do member shout outs. Thank you guys, all of you that watch, for supporting honest news and coverage so you get
I thank all my audience people for watching, man. I beat you to it.
actual news. And so when we criticize Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or whatever, and then I tell you Kamala Harris is winning, you can trust that Kamala Harris appears to be winning now. We're giving you the actual results. We criticize Trump, but we also say when he does well, etc. So you can rely on us. We're not trying to skew anything, and I point that out because it's incredible to me how much everyone else is skewing the results to what they want. So you've seen me be down about Kamala Harris's chances. Now let me show you why today it looks great. So the numbers have changed throughout this election. It has been the most surprising, most unpredictable election of my lifetime. It's amazing how much they keep changing back and forth. But you know where you want to be? You want to be up at the very end. And so here we are. So let's go through these first thing. And final NPR Marist poll, very reliable. They have Harris winning at 270, barely winning. They still have Nevada and Georgia's toss-ups. But even if Trump wins those, Harris still gets 270. So that poll, good poll, Kamala Harris barely winning in that one. Okay. Then we go to the next poll. Hold on. I'm going to come back to Iowa in a minute. I'm going to come back to Frank Luntz in a minute because he was going in favor of Trump. But now he says, hold. Okay, so let me give you the BS polls first. And the reason why I say this, guys, I'm not saying, oh, they're right wing, so they're bad. Like one of the best polling organizations historically was a progressive group, whether you agree with politics or not, when you their politics or not, you look at how they matched up with actual results, and they were the most. So it's not right or left. That doesn't matter. Accuracy matters. And these
You believe all the polls, man. The thing that matters most is people showing up, right? And this is the thing about polling. Polling can be manipulated in both ways, with a right wing and a left wing. What can be manipulated is people putting in their mail-in ballots or people actually walking to the polls and voting. That's the key, right? Turnout is the key. That's the most important metric to check. Let's go.
Polls have not been accurate in the past. They seem to be leaning almost on purpose towards the Republicans. They have this, like, some in the right wing have this mindset of, oh, the polls are just marketing. So if they're just marketing, let's just lie about them and then say that we're winning. You didn't have to lie about them for most of the election because Trump was winning most of the election. So, but these polls constantly lean Trump, and they don't necessarily they have not been very accurate. But nevertheless, I'm going to share all of it with you guys. Atlantis Intel has
Homie's kind of coping a little bit. He's coping a little bit.
Trump winning.
This election is very tight. It's going to come down to the wire, meaning it might take, like I said, 1 or 2 days. You know what I mean? But so a landslide in this scenario isn't ending in 1 or 2 days, right? The tighter it gets, the longer it's going to take to count the ballots and everything like that. This is like last in 2020, the election was called like maybe 5 days after the election, after the November 5th day. You feel me? And that was tight one. That was a very tight one. So this has a chance of being tighter. No diddy. So if it gets tighter and tighter, we can have a full week, maybe close to two, with no decided victor. So when I say it's going to be decided quick, I'm saying by night 1 or 2, there'll be a win.
Arizona easily, North Carolina easily, Nevada easily, etc., and has Trump winning overall 312 to 226. In fact, they have him.
So by the way, he's talking about the electoral college. You need 270 to win the electoral college. How do you win the electoral college? You win it by winning a state, and those states have a not certain amount of electors, and you need to win 270 electoral votes in order to secure the nomination of president of the United States. It's not a popular vote type thing. So you can have tons of voters like Hillary did in 2016. She had way more votes than Donald Trump, but she did not win the electoral college because that's a proper representative of the entire United States.
Winning
Let's go.
all of the swing states. So another one that's not very reliable is Trafalgar Insider. That's also leans Republican and inaccurately so. In the past, doesn't mean they're inaccurate this time. 306, 232 Trump. They have them winning all the swing states except Nevada, which is surprising.
By the way, get in the chat. Let me know who y'all think will win the actual will win, man. Who y'all got winning? Get in the chat. Let me know. Like the stream as y'all pop in. Let's go.
Surprising because there was bad numbers coming out of Nevada in early voting for Kamala Harris. So as I keep telling you guys, all of these, like, she's got bad numbers in Nevada and North Carolina, seemingly in early voting, but then you're getting these latest polls outside of the two I just read you, leading heavily Kamala Harris. So now YouGov and the Times poll. Harris 276, Trump 251. They have her holding the blue wall and winning Nevada by 1. Is that really? I don't know. I don't know what to believe, right? But they have her winning Wisconsin by 4, Michigan by 3, Pennsylvania by 3. That's the blue wall. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the most important. As I've said, look, this election could be super close, or if Trump wins Pennsylvania, it could be over in an hour. And that is still eminently possible. Both sides, please.
See, this is what I'm saying. Exactly. He's saying exactly what I said prior. This could be decided the night of, or it could be so close it's going to take weeks to figure it out. So if Trump is to win Pennsylvania, it's absolutely over, done one night. If Harris wins Pennsylvania, then it gets a bit mixy. Let's go.
Remember 2016. Ironically, here the Trump side might be pulling the Hillary Clinton
Correct. That overconfident.
like, oh, we got this. Look, brother, even if you were at 51%, 52% likelihood of winning, which is or even up to 55% likelihood of winning, which is where that range is where I've had him now for the last 6 weeks or so, right?
Okay, so even Shank himself, who's clearly leftist, clearly a progressive, he's had Donald Trump and the Republican Party winning the presidency at a 55% clip. So this makes me trust Cenk Uygur a lot more because he's saying even despite his best interest, he realizes the reality that his candidate Kamala has a higher likelihood to lose. But now, again, politics is weird, man. When you get somebody to go in that booth and vote, that's them. Getting somebody to actually vote, that's huge. Let's go.
But remember, Hillary Clinton, in even our estimation, not the New York Times, not Huffington Post, not the guys who had it at 92, 98. No, at TYT on election day, we thought it was about 65-35 Hillary Clinton, right? Based on the polling and the numbers that we were seeing, the trends, everything else, right? But we said right at the beginning, 35% means that could definitely happen, right? It happens 35% of the time. So if Trump really had a 55% lead, well, he could lose 45% of the time. Those numbers are worse than Hillary's numbers were in 2016. So, and just because you're seeing great numbers here for Harris at the end doesn't mean Harris is going to win. So please, like, don't get overly hopeful. Don't get despondent. And by the way, whichever side you're on, well, in an election this close, you're crazy not to vote. So definitely go vote. And then buy our vote
That's the most important metric. Again, voting.
t-shirts on shoptyt.com. Got a great collaboration, collabo as the kids call it, with Oaklandish. All of a sudden we're cool. Okay, so we'll put the link to shoptyt.
Oh, you're not cool. You're corny, but you give good political commentary.
Or that's easy to remember. Anyways, in the description box, that's where the links always are. And by the way, speaking of links, polymarket.com is one of our sponsors. I just checked them because I don't want to just give you polls. I want to give you betting markets. All of a sudden, the betting markets are moving. Trump, I believe,
Yeah, it's getting tighter. The race is getting tighter near the end, meaning Kamala might pull the upset because Trump is clearly in the
was
lead.
in the 60s. Now he's down to 55. People are seeing these new polls, and all of a sudden, the betting's going in the other direction. Interesting.
So the money's moving. The money's moving. He's hyped up. He's happy.
All of a sudden, interesting. Okay. So now let's go to CNN SSRS poll. Harris 278, holding the blue. No, tied in Pennsylvania, but in their poll, see, this is so crazy. She's winning Wisconsin and Michigan and Arizona and North Carolina, but not necessarily Pennsylvania. That would be really surprising, but maybe. So 278, 241 for Harris. And then
He can't even hide his excitement. He is hyped up by these polls, man. Look at the smile and glimmer in his face. Bro wants this to be certifiable facts. We'll see. We'll see. We got 2 days to go. Meaning on Tuesday we'll have a better picture.
we've got the last. NPR Maris, I told you that was a big one coming in, saying with a couple of states tied, Harris still wins. And then Nate's the only legitimate guy, in my opinion, that has solid, track record. Nate Silver, obviously.
Nate Silver's really, really good.
He's got her with winning Michigan and Wisconsin, and Trump winning North Carolina, Nevada, and Georgia. But importantly and decisively in that case, he has Trump winning Pennsylvania. So Nate has said too close to call. Harry
Silver is really, really good. Check out his thing, the Silver Bulletin. If y'all get the chance, he really has great coverage, polling, and he's been very consistent. So his model, I don't know what it is, but bruh gets a lot of his takes right. So in terms of predicting and looking at probabilities and excuse me, probabilities and averages, he's really, really good. So if y'all get the chance, check out the Silver Bulletin. I think he updates this daily. You know what I mean? I'll put it in the chat for any of y'all who like politics and like following these things. Really, 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 really good. So whatever Nate Silva is saying, You have to pay attention because he has the pulse and has the better one of the best models of predicting these things. So if Trump, in this essence, wins Pennsylvania, most of the other states don't matter because he would be already at 270. Probably will itch it out at like 272 or something like that. So let's hear what Jean has to say a bit more. I'm gonna peel out for a little bit, man. I'll be right back though.
Hinton says too close to call, coming in saying with a couple of states tied, Harris still wins. And then Nate's the only legitimate guy, in my opinion, that has solid, track record. Nate Silver, obviously. He's got her with winning Michigan and Wisconsin, and Trump winning North Carolina, Nevada, and Georgia. But importantly and decisively in that case, he has Trump winning Pennsylvania. So Nate has said too close to call. Harry Enton says too close to call. Frank Luntz says too close to call. Frank Luntz is the main Republican pollster. I'm going to get back to him in a second. And for whatever it's worth, I say too close to call. And I love calling elections and I love calling them early. But I've been telling you now the entire election season, I don't know. I don't know because the numbers are too unpredictable. So this I'll do Luntz and I'll get to Iowa and the underlying numbers that are so important here. So Luntz says, he's the Harris numbers are starting to catch up, and he goes back to even more uncertain. He's still intuition, still leaning Trump. So almost exactly where Nate Silver is, very close to where I was, almost exactly where I was. But now,
Chad, I want y'all to get in the comments, man. I don't know how to do polls on StreamYard. Maybe I need to pay the extra fee to do it. But you know what I mean? I want y'all to get in the chat. Let me know who y'all got, Kamala or Trump, and tell me why in the comments. I would love for y'all to let me know. And don't forget to like the stream as we vibe through and we enjoy the Saturday night together, man. Let's go.
we're all going, maybe not, given the last polls. Why are the last polls more important? Because they're last. So that means more people are making up their mind. They're more likely to vote in that direction. The election is not later; it's now. Early voting has started in a great majority of the states. So that's why those are more important. But they're not perfectly determinative because an average of polls still makes a difference. So for Frank Luntz, he said on air last night, he's like, but there's one thing if you're a Trump person that should give you pause, which is young women. If they come out in big droves, which they might, they are unlikely voters, not factored into the polling as much, and could make a big difference for Kamala Harris. Now, I'm finally going to get to Iowa, where you're going to see, but there's two.
Again, this goes back to what I said earlier, y'all. What I said earlier, again, Kamala Harris needs white women. She already got black women. That's already solidified. Black women are going to vote at a huge clip. You know what I mean? And which is incredibly ironic because there's talk of Kamala Harris not being black. I don't know. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be determinative of that. I'm just going to say that Kamala Harris's black father is not in her life at all and has not been part of her life for most of her life. She grew up in a Southeast Asian home. So her cultural, let me say, connection would be more to Indian Southeast Asian culture. But she went to Hampton, I believe, right? Or Howard, I'm not 100% sure, which is a FBCU, historically black college and university. So she might have a cultural connection to that. She married a white man. Like, let me just keep it a bean. It is what it is. Does she have the same connection to her black lineage? I don't know. I don't know this lady, right? What I do know though is that she is not the most authentic person. And does authenticity matter? Not when it comes to a race between Democrats and Republicans, because it's more of a ideological battle. And by the way, I want y'all to definitely check out Nate Silva, the Silva Bulletin. He's dope. He really gives a lot of great analysis and points of views. He's projecting a Trump win. But Cenk Uygur is saying that there's one way, there's actually a few paths that Kamala can win, but Kamala is going to have to come through the back door, no Diddy. You know what I mean? Like straight up through the back door. Let's hear this.
Other sets of
By the way, like the stream, man. Like the stream. And if you're hearing on audio only platforms, I want y'all to give me 5 stars and help the podcast grow and the brand grow. Man, we are at episode 91, almost at a hundo, almost at that 100 piece, man. You know what's crazy, man? I didn't even start streaming the podcast until like maybe a few months ago. It's been very, very dope. It's been very, very successful in that platform, that medium. I'm gonna find other ways to elevate once I reach the 100 piece. I'm so thankful again to be able to be here to even do 91. I've done way more than 91 podcasts. I've probably done close to 200, I believe, if you add up my football, my basketball podcasts I've done. I'm reaching close to like literally 200 podcasts that I've done. You know what I mean? And by the way, that ain't nothing, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. I'm thankful that I even have the opportunity to even try to halfway entertain y'all and give y'all something to laugh at, think at, everything in between. I'm thankful, y'all. I'm at 91 MFN episodes, y'all. Who the hell would have thought? Man, cheers to me and cheers to y'all for supporting me throughout. Cheers to every MFN body. Mm. Let's listen to Shank talk some more.
Women. That might make a huge difference. And one, to me, throughout the election has been surprising. First, quick shout outs here. The anti corporatist. Thank you for being a member. Really appreciate you and saying Kamala's fumbling the bag. Well, look, guys, as I've been telling you all along, I think both sides have been trying to lose. I think that there's a good chance that Donald Trump here might have blown it at the end because they just couldn't stop the hate. I told you they keep juggling hand grenades. They're going to drop a couple, and they did. Oh, Puerto Rico's garbage. Oh no, women, I'm going to quote unquote protect you whether you like it or not. Oh no, there goes another one. It's not like Biden didn't drop it with the garbage comment, and Kamala Harris has had a whole host of issues. I think both sides have not run a good campaign at all. There were some things that they did well here and there, and we gave them credit for that, but neither one closed strong. But as it turns out, if these numbers are right, Kamala is picking up those undecided voters anyway. Disco Stu, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Look, guys, members make this show possible. And by the way, thank you to all of our members for allowing us to be the most honest show online. Some folks say, no, I don't want it. I want just partisan. Just tell me my side is great and the other side is 100% evil, 100% wrong, 100% going to lose, etc. We don't play that game. And the reason we don't play that game is because we have smart, open-minded, open-hearted members who say, no, give us the truth. We're adults. We're grown-ups. We can handle this. So thank you to all the members. Hit the join button below to become one of them. And if you want to support TYT, tyt.com/2024. Love you guys. Okay, so finally, Iowa. She was losing by 4 in this last poll that they did. This is the Mo does things. Thank you for Jenk 2024. Little too late for that, but I was wearing my Jenk for America shirt the other day. Still alive, says Michael Moore. And
the craziest part about this is that Shank himself, he actually campaigned to be president just to force it was kind of a good troll job, kind of to force Joe Biden to leave, right? The main reason being is that bro saw what everybody else saw. Joe Biden was an old man who was not winning nothing. After that first debate, Joe Biden got his doors clicked in. Man, he got mollywopped in that first debate. Now, keep this in mind, right? I'm gonna say something controversial, y'all, and follow me. If Joe Biden stayed this entire campaign as senile and as old as he is, I think he would have a better shot than Kamala. Why? Because I think Kamala is not a good candidate. I think Kamala is not a good candidate. What's happening now is that if Trump is to lose this election, it's because of Trump. It's because of his own errors and mistakes and his team flopping. Why? Because Trump is the clear favorite. Trump is now in his third consecutive campaign. 16, 2020, now 2024. This man has been campaigning in 3 different elections, and this is about 9+ years of trying to convince the public to vote for him and put him in the highest office. He succeeded one time, he failed another time. If he fails a third time, nigga's a loser. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm sorry it's hard. But you're an MFN loser, really, with the double L. If you catch an L to Kamala Harris, who is not a very good candidate, y'all. Not a very good candidate. I'm saying that politely. That's the most like, bro. She is a two pack of cheeks, and I'm not talking about these cheeks. I'm talking about cheeks elsewhere. But she could win. What does that tell you?
Michael Moore's been saying this all along that it's going to be a blue tsunami because of women. Maybe he was right all along.
So blue tsunami would be a huge wave of Democrat support, right? So there's something called the red wave that was supposed to happen in 2022, which is around the midterms where, Senate and Congress elections are decided. Even some governorships elections are decided. They predicted, at least a lot of people predicted, there would be a red wave. What is a red wave? It would mean a lot of Republicans would win in their contests. It turned out to be a red puddle because a lot of them demands they flopped. So this is laying a groundwork to a possibility that not only does Trump lose, Trump will lose back. Hence the blue tsunami. Who knows, y'all? Who knows? Get in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. Let's go.
I was skeptical when he said that because that's not what the numbers were showing at the time. But so finally, she was down by 4 in Iowa.
Bro, it's about turnout, man. I didn't say this a billion times. It's about turnout. Who is showing up? We got 7 people in the chat. We got 2 likes. This is disrespectful, man. 8 people now in the chat. You better smash that like button. Stop playing with your boy. Stop playing with me. On this Saturday night, I could have been anywhere, but I'm here entertaining each and every one of y'all, and y'all are disrespecting me without smashing that like button. You better smash it. You better smash that like button, man. You better support your boy. I better see the likes getting with the view count. Support your boy. Let's get the likes up. Get the likes up, man. Listen to me. Like the stream, man. Let's fight the algorithm. Let's stop
In
playing
this
games.
very reputable poll, she's now up by 3. But get a load of this, guys. Biden, in that same poll earlier in this election when he was the candidate, you know how much he was losing to Trump by? 18. That's part of why they forgot about Iowa, because the Democrats were losing by 18. So look, guys, it's we've been through this many, many times. It's not just me. That would be absurd.
I still say that the Biden would actually done a lot better than Kamala Harris. I do not believe in Kamala Harris as a candidate. The polls might be capping. The polls might be
tiny
capping.
part of it. But to all the people who didn't believe that Joe Biden was old, who thought Joe Biden was a great candidate and believed the liars at MSNBC and mainstream media and all those propagandists who told you, oh, Joe Biden's great.
I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta stop the content because I don't see the likes going up, man. The likes better go up. We need the likes to go up, y'all. I'm giving y'all 6 seconds to get on the likes, man. 6 seconds to smash that like button. I know you haven't. I know you haven't done it yet. And I'm looking straight in the eyes. You better smash that like button, man. I'm out here giving y'all content, man. You could be anywhere else, but you're here with me. I'm giving you 6 seconds. Smash that like button, 6. Let's go. I'm adding 10 more seconds. Y'all playing games with me. I'm adding 10 more seconds. Smash that like button. Stop playing. The likes have to match what I'm seeing. Let's go. 10 more seconds. 10 seconds of silence. Y'all deserve it. Let's go. And if you already pressed that like button, I love and appreciate you more than you know. Come on, man. We need 10. Get them likes up. Get them likes effing up. Get the likes up.
Don't change him. Don't change him. We're pals with him. We go to dinner and lunch with him all the time. Don't worry. He's fantastic. He's the best candidate we have. He was down by 18 and she's winning by 3. That is a massive 21-point difference. It's not about I told you so. although I'm happy to do that. It's about, guys, when someone is trying to help you and gives you information, even if it's painful, please take it, because they're not trying to hurt you with it. And when I did it, and Charlemagne and John Stewart and Nate Silver and James Carville and David Axelrod, when we all said, get Biden out, get Biden out, don't do it. Are you crazy? He's definitely going to lose. We weren't trying to hurt the Democratic Party. We were trying to help the Democratic Party. And look at this gigantic 21-point difference between Biden and Kamala Harris. So
The only difference is Kamala Harris is not a great candidate, and I'm gonna go keep on saying this to the rooftops. Once she loses, like I said, I predict she's gonna lose, right? Once she loses, I want to see how these people react. Now, I'm not ignorant enough to say she's gonna lose point blank. She could win. She definitely could win. But the likelihood is way lower. Now, if Biden stayed the whole way through and what did use the basement strategy, what is the basement strategy? The basement strategy is not to show yourself in front of the public and hide yourself. I think he had a better chance of winning. I'm sorry. I don't believe that he would have gotten blown out and had his clock cleaned out. I do not believe that, y'all. I do not. I think that's cap.
the underlying numbers, two groups delivering for her by 2-1 margins, giant wins. Independent women. Independents are now finally coming in. And as they're coming in and likely to decide the election, not only are they breaking for her significantly in ways that folks didn't expect this size, at least in the last set of polls, but particularly independent women are going, now we're going Kamala Harris, 2-1 margin. So for women, her having a big lead is not abnormal. That's very expected, right? That's not surprising. But independents are different than the average, right? And independents, in a sense, are like more important because they're probably going to decide the election. So the fact that she's winning independent women with a giant margin is great news, right? If you want Kamala Harris to win. And so, and then the second group that's coming in, I think, is even more important. Senior women, 2-1 margin. Now, guys, this is what's so important, because it isn't just about Iowa. It's about, like, I was not a swing state at this point. Obama won it, but Trump won it easily the last two times. It's not one of the 7 swing states. Nobody's been talking about Iowa. The fact that all of a sudden she took a lead there is amazing. But remember, guys, there was a poll out fairly within the last week where they said Trump took the lead in New Hampshire. How is Trump winning New Hampshire and Kamala Harris is winning Iowa? And guys, nobody rigs polls to have two different people take surprising.
I think this election is going to be surprising because of the turnout, man. Again, it's all about the turnout. That's the biggest number here. People are gonna say this, that, and the third, this poll, that poll. Doesn't MFing matter. It matters the people who walk to the polls or mail in their ballots. That's what matters, bro. That's what matters. You know what I mean? Iowa, New Hampshire, that ish does not matter. It matters the people who have the the mindset to go to the polls. Right? And both candidates are using two different strategies. Kamala Harris is using the strategy of saying Trump is Hitler. By the way, I'm talking about the last home stretch. And Trump is having the strategy of saying, oh, that person's bad, but I am going to fix things.
Leads.
By the way, man, get the likes up. Stop playing with your boy, man. Y'all are in here vibing with me, and y'all ain't getting the likes up. I don't like how this is going. I don't like how this is going, y'all. The likes are not meeting my expectations. Smash that like button if you popping in right now. If you are in right now, you vibing with me on this Saturday damn night. Hit that like button, man. Help me fight the algorithm. Support your boy. Let's go.
In states you didn't expect. So the polls might not be right, but they're not outside of the right-leaning ones that are almost always inaccurate, are not rigged. And those guys, they're not. Anyway, I don't want to get into their methodology. It's not important. So if
The states are so crazy that they have right leaning polls and left leaning polls. How nuts is that? Meaning, like, there's not objective polling. Okay, there is, but it's rare. Meaning, they have polls for Republicans and Democrats. What? Like, what the hell? Like, what? By the way, follow these instructions on the screen.
Senior women come in that strongly in the swing state.
Senior white women, by the way. You better be specific. White women. The black women already voting for Kamala. She needs senior white women. Stop playing around. Stop I'll say it, pussyfooting around. Let's go.
Na 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 na. So, but now Frank Luntz says young women, senior women coming in here.
He's actually correct. If it is actually, senior white women, I think Kamala Harris is going to win this in a major way. If it's senior white women, that's it. That's a fact, though. Can Donald Trump convince white women to vote for him? I don't know. I just don't. I don't like his odds
Huge
with
for
that.
Kamala Harris in this poll in Iowa, and we're seeing it in some of the early results. Independent women. So what are we hearing? Women, 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 and it's true. And there's an excellent chance that women come in here at the end and go, "Yeah, not this time, not on my watch." And number one, Kamala Harris.
And that's what the Democrats have to rely on. They have to rely on women because women, for the most part, are high propensity voters. And that term means that they're more willing to go and vote in not only presidential elections, but all types of elections, be more involved in politics, right? Donald Trump's strategy is a risky one because he's trying to appeal to men at a high clip. And a lot of men, especially non college educated men, are not high propensity, man. They don't give a damn about the election. That's why this is about the turnout. This whole election is about the turnout, man. Showing up is half the battle. What am I talking about? Showing up is getting on the ballot, showing up is going to the polls. Why is Canada's election so bad and our society incredibly horrible right now? Why is Canadian society cheeks right now? And I'm not talking about these cheeks. Canadian society is cheeks because in the last few elections, a lot of the people stayed at home, y'all. They stayed at home. And we elected an idiot. We elected somebody that was whack. And you know what? We can't even say we because it was like literally a small number of Canadians actually voted that guy Trudeau in. So I'm not even saying we because it wasn't even we. So whoever comes out and convinces their people to come out more wins the election. If Kamala Harris is able to convince old white women to show up to the polls, or at least send in their million ballots prior, she'll win in a landslide. White women, if she's able to convince black men, she wins decisively.
Harris would be the first female president. Of course, that's important and relevant, right? And if you're a guy who says, "I don't think it should be relevant," okay, that's fine. But a lot of women think it should be relevant.
It's definitely going to be relevant because ultimately it's a huge rejection of Trump and the Republican Party because the Republican Party is a cult of personality party now. It's not so much on policy as much, it's more so on the personality. Very different from how it was 10 years ago. Let's go.
So then it is relevant. Certainly relevant to how the polling comes out, how the voting comes out at the end. But I think more importantly, a lot of women are going, nah, not that guy. Not that guy. Not him again, and not him beating another female candidate. And so he did it again today. He's so dumb. That's why he's his worst and his own worst enemy. So today he doubled down on I protect women strongly. I don't care if they don't want it. I'm saying it. I don't know why that's a rough statement. I don't care what women want is the very worst thing you could say while people are early voting and 3 days before that election day. How do you not understand that? And in fact, what's hilarious is he says, my advisor says that I shouldn't say it. Yeah, there's a good reason why they say that, because they're smart and you're dumb. And he's like, well, I'm going to say it anyway. I don't care what women want. Oh, you idiot, right? So if you're a Trump fan, you should be 10,000 times more livid at him for saying such unbelievably counterproductive things. So now, the other thing that's super like
I will agree with him on that. Trump does say and do very dumb things, and that's part of his authenticity. But he says and does very dumb things. That say that I will protect women whether you want it or not. That was a horrible quote. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely, it was garbage because that's forceful, really, right? And you want to put women in a position for them to choose. You to make it clear that you're the best choice. You make it clear that you're the best. You make it clear that you that nigga. But you are definitely not going to go out of your way to say you will have to do this whether you want it or not. That is not the right way to frame and talk to women. This is why that's why I'm saying Kamala Harris has a very good chance. A lot of people are saying that Trump's going to win this clearly. I'm saying that Kamala Harris could get it through the back door. No Diddy. Actually, you can't even say no Diddy because she's a woman, but she could win from the back door with women, with a lot of women voters, man. A ton.
that is surprising me at least, and certainly surprises pollsters at the direction that it's going, and changes the dynamic of the race because the I'm looking at it from I see that Democrats have the unlikely voters coming out in 22 and 23. I see Trump normally has the unlikely voters coming out 26, 2020, not for his other candidates that he endorses, but for him because of cult of personality, etc. And I think he's a fake populist, but he's at least pretending to be a populist, anti-establishment, etc. So then you're
No, he's a real populist. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. He's a real populist, but that could go the wrong way too. Definitely can.
kind of at a time. But that assumes that the Republicans hold seniors, which they normally do. And remember, senior citizens, that means 65 and above, are the most likely to vote. That demographic votes like crazy. So in Iowa, I think she's winning senior citizens, period. Whoa. Okay, so if it's flipped and that holds in other swing states and she wins senior citizens, no, 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 no. Now, guys, I'm saying if, okay? And so why are seniors headed over to Harris, which is surprising everyone?
By the way, I will say this. I have a good amount of liberals and conservatives in my chat. Y'all know me, man. I made it like super, super clear. I'm more on the, conservative side. I'll be 100% real with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm like center right. That's my political thing. But I can see, no Diddy. I can go both ways in the sense that I can see why, you know, liberals would hate Democrats, Democrats would hate liberals, and we have a different political structure here in Canada, right? Meaning that we have the liberal government, which is liberal, but it's more center right. We have the center left, my bad. Then we have the conservative government, which is more so center right, or even just center of the political divide. And then we have NDP, which is left wing. Then we have the Green Party, which is far left wing. And then we have like a fringe party called the People's Party, which is far right. You know what I mean? So we have a good enough representation of political, and then Bloc Québécois is more so like center left. You know what I mean? So we have about 5 to 6 political parties that represent different spectrums of the political aisle. Republicans and Democrats are very similar, and they have very few policy differences that are that different. So me, even though I do see myself as a center right person, I can still understand liberals. I get it. I don't agree with a lot of liberals, but I understand what Shank has been saying the whole time. I've opposed a lot of things he said throughout this video. But that doesn't change the fact that I understand what he's trying to say in his communication style. He's trying to say that Kamala Harris can win this election, which I agree with, but I think that when what me and Shank have different is that I see that Kamala Harris won't win because she's not a good candidate. If y'all were to switch her out with anybody else who's a Democrat, I think they'd have a way better chance than her. I think she's not a good candidate, y'all. And that's not because she's a woman or because she's black, because there's a ton of women in the Democratic Party who would clean Donald Trump's clock. A ton of black women who would clean Donald Trump. I don't think this particular black woman, man, I said this earlier about if Michelle Obama would, she would destroy Donald Trump. I just don't think Kamala Harris is that good of a politician. But look, again, this is about turnout. Who's turning out? If Kamala Harris is able to convince old white women to pull up, and if she's able to convince black men not to dipset the Democratic Party, two hard tasks. She wins. Let's go.
And by the way, God, this it's the most topsy turvy election of all time because she's barely winning the young vote. Normally, Democrats crushing the young vote, but she's barely winning it.
And that's another feather in Donald Trump's cap, meaning that that's another thing that Donald Trump has done that's irregular. He is winning a lot of young people, young men especially. Let's go, Doug.
So, the but for senior citizens, the reason she's winning is democracy. They're like, no, this guy makes me uncomfortable. I'm not going to lose democracy on my watch. So the two giant issues are democracy and abortion, and they should be. Trump overturned Roe, and my whole life Republicans have been telling me, "Oh, this country is so pro-life, so pro-life." How'd that work out for you? I told you all along, 7 out of 10, and that's been
The abortion debate that's another reason that Trump could lose, and the Republicans could lose the Senate and the House. The abortion debate. That's huge.
true for so long. 7 out of 10 Americans are
Y'all better like the stream. What is y'all doing? Let's go.
pro-choice. This country is massively pro-choice. 79-year-old woman in Iowa talking to the pollsters said, look, man, she said, I'm pro-life, and I know this is contradictory, and this often happens with more conservative voters. She says, I'm pro-life, but that's my decision, and I'm not going to tell other women what to do with their bodies. They should leave our bodies alone. First of all, she's actually pro-choice. She just doesn't know it. She doesn't know the right label, but it's okay. It's okay. She's like, so I'm voting against Trump. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. And on democracy,
I'll say this: my feelings have evolved with the pro-life, pro-choice, for perspective. For me, I'm a lot more open-minded. I say do what you want. My thing is we have to try to get men slightly a bit in this conversation because there's a lot of men out there who they don't have a choice with what happens to their child, meaning that there's a lot of women who have kids with a man who never wanted to have kids in the first place. Now, it is her body, her choice. I do agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, bruh, it's also his sperm. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here is that just because he came in you or y'all had sex doesn't mean he wants a child, y'all. And unfortunately, we're in a society where we're not even having a conversation like this. You can have sex with a woman and not want a child. That's actually very common. The thing is, once the parental rights and everything and the laws and the states are set up, he'll be so stuck with child support and all that nonsense. You don't want a child with this woman. Maybe you just want to have sex. Anyways, man, I'm not going to harp on this, man. It's like my thing is, bruh, like men should have a say in this conversation slightly because sometimes we don't want them kids, man. I'm sorry. Sometimes you don't want them children, man. It is what it is.
Democracy. Again, the Trump guys don't believe it. They say, no way, he didn't cheat. He didn't try to steal the election. There wasn't a riot. It was a bunch of tourists plus Antifa. And we heard of them chanting, hang Mike Pence, but it was no big deal. He wrote, we should terminate the Constitution, but I don't believe it, or he's joking, etc. But
This is Shane going on his little, his liberal ish. Let him have
for a
his.
lot
Let
of
him have.
people, they heard it, they believed it, they saw it with their own eyes as people entered the Capitol, and they're like, nah, this guy doesn't believe in democracy, and I'm not going to vote for him. Yes. So, look, guys, as anybody who watches Young Turks knows, I got 1,000 problems with the Democratic Party. Okay. And we're going to talk about that after the election, whether they win or they lose. And we got to change the tenor of this party. And what happens in the next 4 years, even if Kamala Harris wins, is an amazing question, a really interesting question. And we'll tackle that every day, weekdays, 6.
I think that's kind of one of the reasons I like Shank is because he actually is willing to criticize, and he's willing to criticize and go off on his own party. Meaning he's loyal to his party, but he's willing to defy them. And this makes me trust him a lot more than a lot of other liberals because, he's willing to say, hey, man, even though I am one of y'all, sometimes y'all are men, sometimes y'all are not on, the up and up. I like that. That makes me trust him a lot more, y'all, because look, man, sometimes the liberals, and not just the United States, even here in Canada, are on major BS. And that doesn't get called out amongst their tribe. I see this also in the right wing circles too. A lot of them will just cover for their guys. I know why they do that. They do that so they can get the money, huh? But I like the fact that Jank is willing to, go off on his side too. So he'll give the smoke to right wingers, but he'll give a bit of the smoke too to the liberals. I trust him more because of that. And guys, I don't know if you notice, I do the same. I'm giving smoke to both sides. Of course, I lean one way, and I already told y'all where I lean, but I see so many problems with the Republican Party too, with conservatives too. The hypocrisy, the dumb ish, the egos. You feel me?
Clocky.
This might be a 3 hour stream, y'all. I didn't even plan it. It might be a 3 hour stream. I might say F the club, F the bars, and just stay with here with y'all
Everybody
as
come
well.
watch at 6 o'clock Eastern. By the way, we also do live polls. So only the people watching live get to vote on that poll. And I love the results, and I want to see you guys get involved so that we have a better sampling. And I read your comments when we're live, and especially if you're a member. So hit the join button below if you can. And Tyler Petre, thank you for gifting 10 Young Turks memberships. Sorry I couldn't do all the super chats like I would normally do in our live show because I read them during the breaks, but I appreciate everybody who wrote in a super chat. So, look, guys, as much as I have those problems with the Democratic Party, Trump did use fake electors to try to steal an election. Totally, utterly unacceptable. He did write, we should terminate all articles, rules, and regulations in the Constitution because he claimed there was massive fraud. No. You saying there's fraud does not justify terminating the Constitution. Unstable, unacceptable, and so if he loses, I'll be thrilled. But that doesn't mean the fight is over. Overall, we still have to do a populist revolt so that they represent the average man and not their donors 24/7. So, but as I've said from day one, we live to fight another day if Kamala Harris wins. Live to fight another day. But we can't fight another day if Trump wins and then starts doing some of the over the top things that he has said about democracy in this country and using the military to attack the enemy from within. You worried about Biden saying people are garbage? The other guy's saying, I'm going to attack your voters with the United States military. I consider them the enemy from within. No, those things are not at the same level. Okay. So Brain Muleheads, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Logan Demir, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Logan writes in, Trump is my dad. Men will always stay strong. Cenk, love you, bro. You're incredible. Thank you. I'm amused by that comment. All right, guys. Not only the smartest.
Bro went on a whole liberal rant talking about all that nonsense. I'll say this: whenever people on the liberal side say that Donald Trump cheated and he did fake electors and all these things, they need to be conscious too that they did some trickery in the 2020 election. They did some mail-in ballot harvesting too. Both sides are finessing, man. And for us to claim like one side is worse than no, both of y'all are doing fraud. It's just that one fraud worked better than the other. So guess what? What's going to happen in this election? I'm guaranteeing you, there's going to be fraud on both ends. Both ends are going to try to cheat and win. Are we dumb enough to think both sides ain't going to cheat? Are you that stupid to think both sides they both going to cheat? The better cheater will win. Welcome to politics. It's the best cheater. It's the biggest finesser. Welcome to
Audience,
politics.
but funniest audience. All right. So Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern, and
Again, my problem is that Jenks is trying to have some kind of moral high ground. The Democrats cheat. Liberals in Canada cheat. You can't get that through your thick skull. They all cheat. Somebody cheats better than the other and they win. It's very simple. Let's go.
we're going to talk about the populist revolt too. We need that populist revolt either way on Monday's show, and then election day noon all the way through.
Okay, enough of this. Let's listen to somebody else who is not right wing, is not left wing. Actually, that's debatable. We're gonna listen to the guys from Two Way, right? What is Two Way? Two Way is a podcast platform that says two has two way conversations by Mark Halpern, Sean Spicer, and a guy called Dan who's a liberal. So they have both sides of the aisle in terms of political talking and speak. So we're gonna watch them as well. So they're the next people. Now the difference is they're a bit more nuanced. The Jank, you already saw what it. Jank is clearly a liberal, and he wants Kamala Harris to win. Why are we surprised by that? We're not surprised by that. Dude is doing what he is supposed to do. He is supposed to do. He is doing his job. My thing is I am biased too, but I'm also willing to listen to both sides because I'm not a I'm not just like a cult.
Talk about why it is
I'm gonna
that
be
so
right
many
back.
people in my life are now saying they think Harris is going to win. A lot of it's based on women voters. We all know that. If she wins, it's going to be powered by women. And the early vote in Pennsylvania, big Politico story that people are sending around, says early vote heavily women. So that's one thing that people are citing. Then the latest round, and it's amongst the last rounds of public polls, show an edge to Harris. Again, if you go through the methodology of them and you compare them to private polls, you'd say, even though their margin of error, they're misleading because Harris isn't really up in these states. But go ahead and put up the one that's got a bunch of poll numbers on it. This shows polls from Marist, Epic MRA, Emerson. All of them show Harris ahead. Harris ahead in Michigan.
So I'm gonna give y'all a bit of context. This clip came out, I believe, on Friday, right? Uh, if I'm not, no, sorry, it came out either on Thursday or Wednesday, a few days ago. So this is not as current as the polls and the stats that Cenk Hugo from the Young Turks got, right? But I trust Mark Halpern, and he's the man who started speaking because Mark Halpern has been really, really good at seeing trends in politics and saying them. Right before Biden dropped out, Mark Halpern had the connections to see that there was ish happening in the background of the Democratic Party where they were trying to push Biden out. So bro had like some inside tracking knowledge and he has connections in order for them to speak to him. What does that mean? I'll show you what it means. Y'all stay tuned. I'll show you what it means. Y'all better follow the instructions on the screen by getting the likes up. Stop playing with your boy. I'm giving y'all amazing content at 12:26 Eastern Time. Who does this, man? I'm giving y'all political commentary and giving y'all entertainment, man. Smash that like button. Stop playing with your boy, man. Stop playing with a real one tonight, man. Smash that like button. Stop playing with your boy. Let's get it moving, man. And I low key forgot what I was gonna search up. But let me say it again. Mark Halpern is really plugged in and connected, fam. He really knows what he's talking about. So I trust his opinion. And when he says this is closer than we expected, he's speaking factually. He's speaking facts. Let's listen to the rest of. Actually, you know what? I might run it back. I might run it back. Fair use.
That so many people in my life are now saying they think Harris is going to win. A lot of it's based on women voters. We all know that. If she wins, it's going to be powered by women. And the early vote in Pennsylvania, big Politico story that people are sending around, says early vote heavily women. So that's one.
By the way, again, why does Pennsylvania matter again so much? I'll tell you why. Pennsylvania has a ton of elector votes. Okay? So the fact remains here in 2024, and I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it up. I'll share on the screen so that y'all can see this and see the relevance of it. Right? So here it says Pennsylvania, where the U.S. Constitution was written, was the second state admitted to the Union, officially becoming a state in December 1787. The Keystone State has participated in 59 presidential elections through 2020. Pennsylvania is generally considered a battleground state. Although it voted Democratic in the six elections prior to 2016, the election saw Donald Trump win the state by 0.7%, one of three blue wall states. Again, the blue wall is Michigan, Wisconsin, and others. He won on his way to winning the presidential election. Again, competitive. In 2020, Joe Biden won by 1.2. So this is a very, very important state because it can decide the election, meaning Trump won it in 2020, won the election. Biden won it in 2020, sorry, 2016. Trump won it, he won the election. And he won it by razor thin again. A 0.7%, bro. Biden won it in 2020 on a 1.2, still razor thin. Won the election. Why? Because Pennsylvania has in 2020 had 20 electoral votes. In 2019, I believe it has 19. At least that's what it looks like. That is the most out of the blue wall states, which is Michigan, Wisconsin, and a few other smaller ones. While still an important prize, with 19 electoral votes, Pennsylvania, like many industrial northern states, has seen population migrate away in recent decades. The state now only has half of the 30. Oh, I have 38 electoral votes it had a century ago. So, because the population is getting lower, the electoral votes have gotten smaller, meaning people are not in PA as much no more. Why does this matter? California has 35, close to 40 million voters. People, my bad. That means they have a ton of electoral votes, right? And electoral votes are determined by usually the population. So if Pennsylvania used to have 38 electoral, that means the population was booming. It was booming, y'all. And look, let's look at some of the stats, bro. In 2020, you know what I mean? The Republicans lost this one, and the Democrats won, meaning 50% exact was given to Joe Biden as opposed to the 48.8 won by Donald Trump. In 2016, Donald Trump won 48.2% to Hillary Clinton's 47.5. These are the reasons that Hillary Clinton lost, bro. Hillary Clinton lost because Donald Trump won some of these states that typically would have been blue. What is Kamala Harris's job? Kamala Harris' job is to win back them states and make them blue again. Make America blue again. MABA. Man, for that bar, y'all better get the likes up, man. I better see some super chats. Get the super chat button man. Get your boy on some super chats, man. If y'all ain't gonna like the content, at least send your boy some money, huh? Send your boy some money, man. Send your boy some money, man. Patronize me as I go through this content. And by the way, my thing is if you guys actually do send me super chats, my thing is I'll take a shot per super chat. All right. Feel free to do that. Do what you want with that information. Let's go back to Mark Halpern and the Two Way Podcast. Y'all definitely check out the Two Way Podcast show. He does great work.
Thing that people are citing. Then the latest round, and it's amongst the last rounds of public polls, show an edge to Harris. Again, if you go through the methodology of them and you compare them to private polls, you'd say, even though their margin of error, they're misleading because Harris isn't really up in these states. But go ahead and put up the one that's got a bunch of poll numbers on it. This shows polls from Marist, Epic MRA, Emerson. All of them show Harris ahead. Harris ahead in Michigan, Harris ahead in the Silver State, Harris ahead in Pennsylvania, Harris ahead in Wisconsin. Trump, as this tweet says, not above 49 in any of them. Again, is this because Harris is closing strong? Is undecided's vote? We don't know, but that's part of why Democrats are feeling good. The last Detroit Free Press poll, which I think was included in that batch, so we don't need the other graphic. All of those show Harris up. In addition, her events have been very good. In addition, Donald Trump made a provocative, threatening remark about Liz Cheney. So Democrats are saying he's unhinged. He's going to turn off undecided voters. And finally, she's got a lot of celebrities at her event, which probably is not going to backfire at this stage and is building enthusiasm. So, Dan, is this a blue mirage, or is in fact these little bits of data creating not just the kind of hope and a prayer sensibility, but is it possible that Harris is actually moving into the victory here at the end?
Look, anything is possible right now.
So to give y'all some context, Mark Halpern, white dude with black hair, who was just talking a second ago, he tries to play the middle, but dude is definitely more on the left side. I respect it. I understand it. He's probably center left. Um, and Dan is clearly the leftist on this program. Sean Spicer in the middle is ironically the right wing person. I don't know why he's in the middle. Mark should be in the middle if you are wanting to make this visually look like an actual debate, or at least look like valid, or maybe it was on purpose. It is what it is because Mark is maybe on the right hand side of the screen. I don't know which side y'all see in the screen. Irregardless of that, Dan is more so liberal. He's going to make the claim, or at least make the point, that getting momentum is a real thing.
Excuse me, in a race that is this close. I think you
It can go either way. That's the facts.
said private data, Senate candidate data still continues to show an extreme.
By the way, this is Two Way. Check out Two Way podcast, Two Way show. They do amazing content. I'm a big fan of them.
Tight, if not ever so slight, Trump lead, frankly, in almost all three states. But look, there are some green shoots that are
and even this Dan guy, he gives good content.
beginning to appear. Obviously, I think everyone would agree you'd rather be up in public polls than down. It just creates optimism. It creates excitement. There's definitely the herd mentality that sometimes undecided voters break toward.
I will say this, since none of y'all are really sending super chats, this is a Saturday night. I deserve it. I've been grinding. I've been working hard. I've been doing my thing. I want to take a shot for me. So I'm going to take a shot for me. If y'all want to join in the shot taking, shout out y'all. I'm taking a shot for me, man. Proud of me. I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud to have these amount of people in my chat. Rock it with me. I'm proud of me. Let's do it to us. Let's get it. Whoosh. Let go.
Whomever they think is going to win because they want to be with the winner. But you are starting to see that the gender gap, more women are turning out than men compared to 2020 and 2022 in several of these swing states. You are seeing suburban turnout at a pretty high rate, and that is encouraging because Harris, the campaign feels like they're going to win a lot of these suburbs. Of course, the question is the margins. Where are they? And as the Politico story said, you are seeing older voters turn out, older Democratic voters turn out at a high rate. And, the Harris campaign is running ahead with older voters. Should they win them, it would be the first time in several cycles now.
This is what I'm saying here. What Dan is saying some facts right here. If the Harris campaign is able to monetize, by the way, that shot hit me. It hit me. It hit me a little bit. Like the video, like the streams we pop in. You popping in the stream, you better like, man. Get the likes up, man. I don't know how many times I gotta let y'all know. Like, don't disrespect me like that, man. Wipe your feet on the floor, meaning put the likes up, man. I feel like I feel disrespected right now. I'm being real. We have people in the building and they are not smashing that like button, man. We have upteenth amount of people in the building and nobody's hitting that like button. Hit that like button, man. Put some respect on that like button, man. I'm giving y'all 10 seconds. 10 seconds to get on that like button, man. 10 seconds. 10. I'm starting right now. I'm counting down 10 seconds to hit that like button, man. Let's go. I'm saying moving, man. They ain't moving. We got 10 more, man. I'm putting y'all on timeout. Hit that like button. The show don't continue until I see some of them likes move up. Get the likes moving up. I'm not even asking y'all for no money, man. I'm asking y'all to do the simple thing of smashing a button so we can fight the algorithm. The YouTube doesn't want me to win. Y'all got 10 more seconds, man. Y'all getting on timeout again. Let's go. We need more movement, man. We need more movement. I'm doing 60 seconds. I'm doing 60 seconds. Y'all on a 4-minute timeout until the likes are moving up. Smash that like button. The show continues. Don't smash it. Yeah, timeout. Let's go. 60. Show continues if you smash that like button. Smash it. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Y'all know what to do. I told y'all. I told y'all. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Likes up. Get them likes up. You're getting amazing content. 12:41 Eastern Time. Y'all could be anywhere, but you here with me getting entertained, getting political commentary from a real one. But you don't want to get the likes up. Shout out to the people who actually did get the likes up. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Oh, you other fake phony MFers, it is what it is. You are who you are. Let's go. I'm doing this for the fans, yo. I'm doing this for the people who got on the Patreon. I'm doing this for the people who like the content. I'm doing this for the realest MFers out here. I'm not doing this for y'all fake people who are not doing nothing and just want to be bird watching and being on some weird ish. People who are really showing love to the content, people smashing that like button, people sending super chats, people who really showing love. I appreciate you more than you know. All the fake, whatever people, it is what it is. Go.
So there is some optimism. The other thing that we haven't mentioned is there have been some polls recently that have shown that Black voters may be coming back into the fold for Democrats and that the margins for Harris will be roughly equal to Biden. We haven't thought that would be the case, but obviously if that development occurs.
And again, I said this earlier in the video, man. If Kamala Harris is able to keep the same pace that Biden had with Black people, specifically Black men, she wins. She wins. She needs Black men and white women. Two demographics. Very simple. If she loses Black men and white women, especially older Black women, it's a wash. Let's go. All of these fancy MFers are repeating things I done said. They're copying my swag. It is what it
You're starting to see kind of the pieces to the puzzle that could put together a squeaker of a set of victories in the Midwest.
So just to be clear, I'm not hearing from anybody who says Harris is going to win some Sunbelt states. They don't rule it out, but this optimism for Harris is predicated on exactly 270 electoral votes, the Great Lakes path. Sean.
Yeah, well, then let's talk about the Great Lakes path. Trump up 5 per echelon, Trump up 2 per Atlas Intel, both brand new this morning. Wisconsin tied.
We didn't.
So Sean Spicer is repeating polls that lean more right wing, but Sean Spicer, he's more of an activist. He's like Shank Yuga, but the right wing version. That's okay. At least he's not hiding his bias. That's what I like. Don't hide your bias. If you feel some type of way, feel that way, but don't hide your bias. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all.
We didn't show those because those are private polls that we could have shown those. But
no, I'm just saying. But I want to be clear that
Exactly. Even Mark is up on game. He's saying, "Yo, you're seeing polls from MFers who have a vested interest, not the non-partial ones." This is why I rock with Mark, man. Even though Mark is a clearly a left wing guy, but he's a sharp guy. He's saying, "Bro, you trying to give me the spin, dog? I'm not going for the spin. I
for
like
Harris
it."
is predicated on exactly 270 electoral votes, the Great Lakes path. Sean.
Yeah, well, then let's talk about the Great Lakes path. Trump up 5 per echelon, Trump up 2 per Atlas Intel, both brand new this morning. Wisconsin tied.
We didn't show those because those are private polls that of
By the way, you know what's crazy, right? When I'm talking about rap and ignorant ish and things that don't matter and like things that are really stupid, I don't get this much viewership. You just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't get this much viewership when I'm talking about ignorant rap ish and topics that don't really matter that much. I'm getting a lot of viewership on this topic. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm in the algorithm. If I'm getting likes, I'll be in the algorithm. If you want to support me, smash the like button. But I'm all of a sudden in the algorithm right now that's rocking with me. I don't know. Maybe it's the time I'm doing this. I don't know what it is. It is what it is. Let's
we
go.
could have shown those, but
no, I'm just saying. But I want to be clear
Yeah.
that there's plenty of information out there. North Carolina, Trump is up 4 in Atlas. He's up 2 in Atlas in Georgia. Arizona, Trump up 4. Kerry Lake up 1. Nevada,
Exactly. These are polls that are biased for right wingers.
Trump
Let's
up
go.
4. So, I guess the answer comes down, and I'm not, I agree with you. I think this is a tight race. I think we can all agree on that. But I'm just saying that, I think.
By the way, shout out to the forearm workout thing. It's like it's like a grip workout thing that I just use. Just helps me de-stress. It's like $10 on Amazon. Makes your wrist and your grip strength You know what I mean? It's an exercise, bro. Let's go.
when you not when I,
Man, Amazon better send me. Amazon, send the check, bro. Send the check.
I'm not. I don't want to put this. When the media puts out specific polls, you're going to get a response. So look, I think both sides are looking at information. They know it's tight. This is a get out the vote effort. This is a, we
What did he just say? This is a get out the vote effort. I'm changing glasses because I want to. This is a get out the vote effort. He's saying that this is an effort that's saying you have to go out. It's a turnout election. Your guys versus my guys. Who's going to pull up and show up? That's what it is. Let's go.
out specific polls, you're going to get a response. So look, I think both sides are looking at information. They know it's tight. This is a get out the vote effort. This is a, we
If you listen to anything I said that the upteenth time. It's all about getting out the vote. People showing up.
all talked about this. This is where mechanics matter, where logistics matter. Getting out that vote, getting your people to turn out is going to be critical. And we head into these final few days, with each of the campaigns, making sure that they've got all the data on who hasn't turned out, who has turned out, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be.
Sean, Sean, sorry, I just want to ask Sean two things to follow up. One is, what about the growing sentiment that perhaps Mar-a-Lago is too confident?
I think that it's not. Everyone that I've talked to down there is
They are too confident.
not that, and it's just, if you've been around Donald Trump, you know not to do that. When I talk to people outside the periphery, a lot of the grifter types, they feel great. They're exuberant.
Those are my best sources, the grifters.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying that there's a difference between the people in.
So Mark is low-key saying the people who be capping and taking all that itch behind their scenes, they're the one who are saying the real talk. I think that's interesting. So the people who be campaigning and saying the most BS are saying the truth behind the scenes. Let's go. Shout out Mark Halpern, man. I rock with this guy. He's a sharp dude.
At the senior most levels of the campaign are basically warning against this. It's the periphery folks who are getting excited, and so it just depends on who you talk to.
See, I like discourse like this again, where you have both sides. You have Sean Spicer, who is clearly on the Trump side, the Trump train, and then you have Dan over here, who's willing to give the Kamala Harris liberal point of view. That's called balance in the media. That's called ethics in the media. That's called responsible reporting in the media. And then you have Mark Halpern, who's cosplaying sometimes as a you know, middle of the road type of guy, but he's clearly left wing as well. That's okay though. That's okay. If you have a referee who's kind of biased, that's fine. But as long as he kind of low key hints to his bias and says it, I don't have a problem with that. That's way more balanced than a lot of other news publications in mainstream media. I love this two-way show, and I like what they're bringing to the scene and what they're bringing to media in general. They're not getting paid as much as the mainstream guys, but they're doing a better service in the avenue of media and journalism. So salute to these men. Good for you. Good to these guys. We're going to do our last video with a right-wing person now. It's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? I want to see what y'all think. Get in the chat. Let me know what y'all think. It's going to be quite interesting, to say the least. Let's get it then. Let's get it then.
Yes, he's upset about Bucks County, but he was right and he won in court. That's the story.
I'll let you keep going, Jonathan.
No, I don't appreciate being lectured about.
By the way, like the video, like the stream. I keep on saying that, but again, this is how YouTube works, man. I don't make the rules, man. I don't make the rules on YouTube. My channel is small. I have like 1,000 something subscribers, and I'm thankful for each and every one. But how do I get more? How do I become bigger? It's getting the likes up. It's about getting in the algorithm, right? Why do I want to get in the algorithm? Very simple. I get likes. I get put in a bigger audience. I get put in a bigger audience. I get more views. I get paid off my views. For the most part, there's other services I have, such as the memberships and Patreon. Somebody like me who takes their content serious, who goes out of their way to entertain, who goes out of their way to do research, who goes out of their way to do a pod, a stream at damn near 1 a.m. Eastern for the people, because I rock with y'all. I think I deserve some. And that's the simplest thing I deserve is a like. That's the way we can fight the algorithm and help bless me as I bless y'all and entertain y'all. Thing I'm gonna say about that. We're gonna finish this video. I'm gonna head out and finish off my night, man. We almost at 3 hours, and your boy getting tired. Let's go.
Reporting when you many times you come here saying lots of things that aren't.
I won't
based
come
in
back,
fact.
Jonathan. I'm
But
done.
what?
I'm done. This is the most unfair election ad I have ever been a part of. You guys are working. That's fine. I'm done.
Another day and another hoax by.
Wait. Let's run that back. What the hell?
Right, and he won in court. That's the story.
I'll let you keep going, Jonathan.
No, I don't appreciate being lectured about reporting when you many times you come here saying lots of things that aren't.
I won't
based
come
in
back,
fact.
Jonathan. I'm
But
done.
what?
I'm done. This is the most unfair election ad I have ever been a part of. You guys are working. That's fine. I'm done.
Another day and another.
I kind of like it. I like it. There's a beef. Let's go.
Hoax.
By the way, this is Melanie King. She's right wing, but she says independent things as well. Mostly right wing. So I showed y'all the left wing person who was Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. I showed y'all Mark Halperin in the middle, and now this is Melanie King, who's more so on the right wing Trump train type of thing. And I like this because she's a black woman on the Trump train, right? Because you don't see that often. See, when you come to my show and my streams, I'm the type of individual who's gonna give you all sides and give y'all each tasting of the plate. No diddy.
By the left and the media, which basically are an arm for the DNC. They take any little snippet, small clips of whatever Trump says out of context, and then they try to spin it into a hoax and draw up all of this outrage against it. And then later on, once the media has died down, once no one's talking about it, well, then it gets debunked, like the whole Russia thing, like Hunter Biden's laptop. And you never hear them retract or want to go, talk about it. They will go days and days and days pushing a narrative that Trump's a racist, Trump wants to do this and that and the other. And then they never correct themselves once the truth comes out. What we're going to do is take a look at the full clip of what Trump said to Tucker Carlson, and then look at how the media tried to spin it. And immediately this hoax was debunked.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb.
I don't know. Trump is funny. He's authentic, but he says dumb things. So it's a gift and a curse. It is what it is.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face.
By the way, this came out yesterday. He did this yesterday.
They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. but she's a stupid person. And
you heard the full context. He's talking about Liz Cheney, who is a war hawk, and her father, who is a war hawk, where they're all about all these foreign wars, you know, from their golden palaces. But it's not their sons, their children that have to go and fight in these wars. And he's talking about putting her on the front line. Since she wants so much war, why don't you go on the front line, stand in front of those guns drawn on you, since you want so much of this war? But of course, the mainstream spun it like this.
4 days out from Election Day.
I mean, yes. If you look at the history of Liz Cheney, her father, Dick Cheney, who was part of a war effort that was a very stupid effort based on non-facts and lies that led to a ton of men and women dying for a cause that was futile, borderline evil. That's what Trump was alluding to. Now, Trump, as gifted as he is as a marketer, as a communicator, he is very poor. Right? He could have said that whole issue that whole different way. But there's something happening with mainstream media, with their hatred of Donald Trump, that it drowns their message even more. Melanie King is going to talk more about this, man. And you know what? Might as well go for 3 hours. Y'all want 3 hours? Get in the chat if you want 3 hours of content. Y'all ain't liking the stream or even active in the chat, but it is what it is. I might just do 3 hours just for me and my Patreon people. Let's go.
And former President Donald Trump is escalating his violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
she's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy.
Let's see how she feels when the guns are trained on her face. Let's sit with that for a moment.
And then we have Kamala Harris, you know, responding to this because, again, she's desperate and she knows that she's losing. So this is why we're seeing all of these influx of all these hoaxes coming out, because they've got to drum up something to get interest in her, to get people to the polls, because early voting numbers are catastrophic for her right now. Democrats are not coming out to vote. Republicans are beating them not only in the early vote, but in many states. But they're also seeing that Republicans are out registering Democrats by huge margins. And so the writing is on the wall. So she's got to keep lying and deceiving people, because they know if we focus on her policies, if we focus on her emptiness, if we focus on anything about her, then we're going to see the truth revealed if people actually paid attention to her. And this is one reason why she constantly talks about Trump, try to deflect from everything, basic answers, common sense things. If you ask her what time it is, she will start saying, you know, I grew up in a middle class family, and, you know, Trump, he's a racist and a Nazi and Hitler. That is how just deranged this woman is. She is an absolute lunatic. And the left keeps trying to prop her up as though she's this figurehead, but people are seeing through it. And this is why they are not having their base, their voters, turn out.
And then, even worse, he has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney. This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
Like, this would be obvious as hell, but this is covered under fair use. I'm criticizing and I'm viewing the content. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Melanie. I'll be right back, y'all.
Representative Cheney is a true patriot who has shown extraordinary courage in putting country above party. Trump is increasingly, however, someone who considers his political opponents the enemy, is permanently out for revenge, and is increasingly unstable and unhinged. His enemies list has grown longer, his rhetoric has grown more extreme, and he is even less focused than before on the needs and the concerns and the challenges facing the American people.
She keeps getting booed at rallies. People don't like her. We've seen the reports of people being bussed in order to fill these places that she's going. No one is excited about her. She's even inflated her numbers when she was, when she was on the ellipse and when Biden called all of Trump's supporters garbage, when she was on the ellipse making that speech, well, they've turned it from, 50,000 to 75,000 people were there. Now she's saying it's 100,000 people.
By the way, how many times in the stream did I say that Kamala is not a good candidate? I've said that so many times in the stream. I've said that so many times in this podcast. I've said that so many times, period, that you guys must be annoyed by it. But again, I'm not going to stop saying it because the fact remains that she's not a good candidate. Not because she's a woman, not because she's black. Don't put me in that label. Don't put me on that label. I love and respect black women. I love and respect women in general. I love and respect my kind, which is black people. And look, there's going to be debates about her being actually black, period. But anyways, that's besides the point. I don't have a problem about Kamala Harris personally. My issue is with her as a politician. Again, even Donald Trump himself is a flawed politician. But the difference is Trump is effective at his role. Trump is a populist candidate. He's not establishment. Kamala Harris is establishment. And as an establishment candidate, she is trash. Bill Clinton, establishment candidate, not trash, very authentic. Barack Obama, establishment candidate, not trash, very authentic. Even Bush, extremely establishment, authentic, good politician. He won 2 election cycles, whatever controversy you may think about it.
Were there. Just lie after lie after lie. And this is how people know she is not authentic. She's fake and she's pandering. Whenever she sees she's losing a group or someone's, it's like she tries to put out these fires by pandering. If it was black men and then she's pandering. Now she's trying to go with, go see union workers or, now then she jumped on the whole Puerto Rico thing, which that's another video I'm going to do that goes into depth on how they knew about that beforehand, because she posted and they did a lot of things that gave it away. Now on CNN, there was a rare moment where someone actually clarified what they said. They actually walked back and apologized for pushing this narrative on a CNN panel.
I don't think you even need to call it fired upon. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad. That is appalling. It is a small facet of the reasons why he's unfit for office, and the Republican Party has made a disastrous mistake renominating him. All that said, since we're here for the punditry, I don't know what this gets him, right? If his problem is freaking out suburban women who don't like the chaos, don't like the violent rhetoric and all that kind of stuff, that's just not a great closing argument. Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her. And does that pull more low propensity voters in his coalition to the polls? I honestly don't think so.
Now you heard what he had to say, but what's amazing is that on the same panel, he actually walked back his comments, which is something we rarely see in mainstream media.
Of the show, we now have her response was.
Mainstream media is failing at a crazy rate. Why? Because they have a lot of people in that media that say a lot of nonsense, don't get held accountable, and just keep being trash. These are facts. Let's go.
Just posted
And when I say by trash, I mean that they're not giving the full picture. They're biased either one way or the other. Throughout my stream, I'm touching 2 hours and 30 minutes of the stream. I gave y'all the Harris side. I gave y'all the middle part. I'm now giving y'all the Trump part. I done went through multiple layers of this ish. You do not see that in mainstream media no more because their job is to be activists for a specific side. Do I disagree with some things that Melanie King says? Yes. But do I respect her for at least trying to be objective and actually going out of their way to put things together? Absolutely. And I'll put her channel inside the description. Fair use again. She is putting up some amazing work right now. As a content creator, I salute it. Let's go.
Posted to the platform formerly known as Twitter. There it is. She says this, quote, "This is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom."
And you know what? Respectfully, man, shout out to me for doing this, man. I'm going to say it right now. Shout out to me. Real talk, man. Chat is quiet. It is what it is. I'll big myself up. I do a cheers to me right now, dog. Cheers to me. And I'm Big JTV, Big Stepper. You doing it big. Appreciate you. And for the 3 people that like the stream and got the likes up, that's for you too. Everybody else, suck your mom. It is what it is. You a hater. You ain't really about nothing. It is what it is. I don't care about you. The 3 people who like the stream, I love anybody watching in the replay and you liking the stream or you liking the movement and you supporting the movement with a super chat, with a like. I love and appreciate you. Everybody else, suck your mom. It is what it is. Go ahead.
To a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant, and she hashtags it, "Women will not be silenced." Jonah.
It's a good statement. I've been sitting here mulling Brad's defense of the statement, and I think he got a better point than I granted at the beginning. I still think what he said was outrageous and grotesque, but that's part of the problem, right? Is Donald Trump speaks in ways, sort of like Mark Cuban, that does not allow for nuance, shades of gray, exceptions to the rule.
I want to remind you again that Melanie King herself is kind of a grifter. She's a content creator that moves according to the wind and doesn't really stick to anything, which is okay because she's trying to get money and get paid. I have no problem with that. She's a capitalist. But my thing is she authentically a right winger? Who knows? Her political and ideologies change according to what's popping in the algorithm. It is what it is. But I will say this, she knows how to put content together properly, and that's why I believe you guys should support her channel. I'm suspicious of her. I don't think she's really authentic or real, but she makes good content. And I'm never going to take that away from a content creator.
Rule. I have lots of criticisms of these women. Not all of them, though, right? But so when Mark Cuban says all of the women are, period, there are no smart, intelligent women around, strong women around Trump, that's just not true. Donald Trump does have a lot of not great people, men and women around him, and Cuban doesn't know how to talk about this kind of stuff. Trump likes to sound so macho and so tough that it freaks people out. And so like the clip about him saying, "I'm going to protect women no matter what," if you actually listen to the broader part of it, he's got a perfectly fine point, which is that the commander-in-chief is supposed to protect Americans regardless of who they are, regardless of their gender. But often when these things about sort of men are from Mars, women are from Venus kind of things, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the way Trump talks, I don't blame
Whether you
women
like
for...
it or not.
See, you see what I'm talking about now? We came to the phase where I've said this many times, and y'all, if you watch my content, if you've been a fan of what I've been doing from time, you already know what I'm going to say. I predicted that this was going to be a gender debate. When did I predict this? I'll help you know when I predicted this. I predicted this months ago. Months ago. Months ago. Okay. He was like, oh no. Okay, bro. Months ago. You want to see the receipts? I'll tell you the receipts. I'll show you the receipts. The receipts are right here. I dropped a podcast. When was this? Hold on, hold on. It's coming. Hold on, it's coming. I released a podcast slash live stream on August 3rd, 2024. This was, I think, maybe the second week of Kamala Harris being an elected official. I said that she was going to make this a gendered debate. Look at this. Kamala Harris and the gender wars. I'm not 100% sure where I said it, but I said that she would make this gendered. Let's go.
Place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
Person black.
Sir, do you believe that?
And by the way, I better see the like button getting. Joe Biden delegates. And what happens is the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, they have a now if y'all asking how does that work, that's a fantastic question. Drugs. You cannot fight them because you have
Correct question, sir. Do you believe that
delegates decided? There's by the way, we viewing my old work. Man, I'm good. Man, this is a fantastic stream. It is what it is. I'm on the grind right now, meaning I'm working hard to get where I'm supposed to be. But these are some of my highlights where I was really spitting fire, man. Episode 82, about 2 months ago. We're at 91 right now, so 9 episodes of progression. Let's hear what I have to say, and then we'll go back to the team. Sometimes delegates are decided by the party's committee, the apparatus of the party, right? Or they're elected in an election for delegates. These delegates represent the people, and the delegates usually do what the people say. So let's say you're in Philly, as an example, you're in Philly, and there is, the delegate, there's an election for deciding who is going to represent the Democratic Party, right? You look up the sheet, you see 3 names, okay? And in them names, you see Joe Biden. You're like, okay. Challenge saying that because it leads me to put up a video of something that I saw on Twitter a while back. What I'm talking about here is that Kamala Harris has been questioned about her being black. Preach. She's an Indian. Co-chair is expanding her portfolio after the initial deadline to determine.
That has hurt the black community.
And say, I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm not going. Like Terrence Crawford tonight. Terrence Crawford ain't going. Terrence Crawford was about to whoop some feet. I'm guessing 8th or 9th round. In general, man, I just want y'all to understand and overstand that the political class wants division. Regardless if they're in the States, regardless if they're in Canada, or anything in between, they like division. Okay? And an individual like Kamala Harris, and I'll say this, even Trump, they're agents of division. But I'd rather have somebody who's an agent of division and show it to my face and be authentic than an individual who pretends to be one race and is actually another race for political gain. A person who is a social climber strictly for the check. Again, the gender wars, man. I talked about the gender wars. Kamala Harris and her entire campaign is based on genders. Shout out to me for preaching. You know what I mean? I was preaching in that ish, man. It was a good stream. If you want to go, check it out. Episode 82. Regardless of that, what I'm saying is the gender divide is going to be so much more pronounced, y'all. Men versus women. Again, I said this again. Y'all have me on record. Black men and white women. Those are the two people who are going to decide this election. Again, why? If Kamala Harris can keep her same pace of black men voting for her as the same amount of black men who voted for Biden or close to the same amount of black men that voted for Obama, she will win. If Donald Trump gets a chunk of black men, he will win. A bigger chunk than most Republicans, he'll win in a landslide. White women. If Kamala Harris can get a ton of white women to come out and vote for her, she will win. If Donald Trump gets a good amount of black women, sorry, it's not black women, white women to vote for him, he will win. What was I talking about in this video? I was talking about the division. They need division, both sides. And that's what I was giving y'all game about both sides. I'm wearing different shades tonight. But anyway, shout out to me, man. I was putting you up on games. If you've been watching my streams, I've been putting you up on game. It is what it is. Catch up. No mustard. Let's go.
Yeah, I do not blame women in the slightest, or men, for getting a hard case of ick from it.
Yeah. All right.
Now, once he realized that this was all a hoax and it wasn't true, he even issued a statement on X, Twitter, that he pinned to the top. Take a listen to this. I need to make a statement. This morning on CNN, I referred to Trump's rifles, quote, as him advocating for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. I was reacting in haste to what were objectively appalling and irresponsible comments that had been framed in the setup piece in the context of previous statements Trump made about shooting protesters and having generals executed, which has been debunked. Still, I was wrong to say he was calling for a firing squad execution after I said that. My co-panelist, Brad Todd, made the case that I was wrong. Brad was right, and again, I was wrong. Trump was making, albeit in his customary fashion, a different argument about Cheney's alleged foreign policy views. Alleged? You still see he has to go add in all of this mess, right? Because he can't make the Democrat machine upset. So, but he wants to stay true. You know, he wants to be truthful. Albeit a different argument about Cheney's alleged foreign policy views and the use of force. I let my disgust at Trump's comments get the better of me, as this was the first time I'd heard them. In fact, at the end of the program, having thought about it, I said as much, though I could have been clearer, a fact that has been left out in a lot of the criticism of me this morning. In other words, I
That man copping please like an MF.
voluntarily conceded the point unprompted before any of the subsequent criticism came my way. You can find it around the 2:20 mark in the video below. I regret the initial comment because it was inaccurate and contributed to the kind of overheated environment Trump thrives on. Again, it's still blaming Trump. He's always the blame for them. Even when they get it wrong, it's still his fault. Trump's words were bad enough. What was bad about what he said? They have this fake liberal outrage.
She's cooking with fish grease. She's absolutely right. What she's saying is a lot of these guys, a lot of these people in media, they absolutely loathe, they absolutely hate Donald Trump, that it blinds them. It blinds them, y'all. It does not help them compute and understand what they're doing wrong or their party is doing wrong. They just think orange man bad and everything else is okay. The term is called Trump derangement syndrome. That's what it is. That's what it is. It is a perfect explanation as to what's been going on. A lot of these people think of Donald Trump as the literal devil, and they're calling him literally Hitler, when there's been a Hitler, literally, and there's been devils, literally, and some of those devils are in their exact party and have the exact similar beliefs, but they won't talk about that because they are tribalistic. We saw, if you was there from the beginning of the stream, if you've been here since the beginning of the stream, and I only trust only 3 of y'all because only 3 of y'all like the stream. Only 3 of y'all, I'm talking about the live stream right now, and I'm not talking about the podcasting. I'm not talking about the replay. If you're on the replay and you smash that like button and use a real one, I really appreciate you. I got love for you. We're almost 3 hours deep. But everybody who was here from the very beginning saw what I was talking about. Cenk Uygur, as great as I think that he ignores a lot of the Democratic BS sometimes in order for him to poop on Trump. He has Trump derangement syndrome because his criticisms for Kamala Harris are few and far between because he wants Harris to win. So why are you going to go off on the candidate that you want to win? Makes no sense. What Melanie King is showing here is showing the hypocrisy of legacy media, and more specifically, the hypocrisy of CNN.
Everything. There's nothing Trump does good. Everything he says is racist. Everything he says is Hitler and Nazi rhetoric, and he's just hateful. Not that they are just so up in their, drinking the Democrat Kool-Aid, their liberal Kool-Aid, that they can't see the forest from the trees. They're so entrenched and so scared for Trump to get back in office that they just can't see their own derangement. They talk about, oh, MAGA's a cult. Are you kidding me? No, they are a cult that has been pushed as though it is sanity through the mainstream.
Melanie is halfway right. Both of them are cults. Both sides are cults. It's tribalistic. Let's go.
Mainstream media. So everyone else is crazy. Trump is so bad. Everybody else is crazy.
I will say this: the right wing is more honest and straight up about their cult behavior. The left wing not only does not acknowledge it, but they ignore it. They ignore it. And I think that's problematic over a long term.
It's just they're the ones that see the truth in the light, but we know that is false. But it's worth noting that a lot of the criticism about my inaccuracy is itself somewhat inaccurate, or at least incomplete, given my correction. So there we go. He had to walk that back. Now, there's also been a lot of uproar and backlash against Mark Cuban when he made this statement. And lo and behold, look at this. Mark Cuban also issuing a walk back. Not quite an apology, but a walk back of what he said. When I said this during the interview, I didn't get it out exactly the way I thought I did. So I apologize to anyone who felt.
That's a non-apology. He's bull pooping. Y'all want to know the art of lying? Listen to this.
Slighted or upset by my response. As I said, it wasn't about Trump voters, supporters, or employees, current or former. And I set myself up for the 6-second soundbite. No excuses. Can't nail every interview. My skin is thick enough. What bothers me, though, is that so many of the comments or media in support of or against me has some level of insult attached to it. Not just there, but everywhere. I'm not blaming anyone. We are where we are. Here's hoping that changes at least a little bit in a week. In spite of joy, I have to add that all the AI memes of me, in the spirit of joy, I have to add that all the AI memes of me with the long hair crack me up. So there is a positive. Like, Mark, who are you trying to gaslight? So he's not apologizing. Just if you thought I said it that way, I wasn't even getting my words out correctly. It was just a small clip. They have no problem doing it to Trump. But when it's them, oh, you taking my words out of context, and I didn't mean it that way. And it's not really my fault. But one of the reasons why, if you notice, one of the things he said here, look at this. He says, What bothers me though is that so many of the comments are media in support of or against me. So he got backlash from both sides, the left and the right. The left, we know why the right hated what he said, but the left are saying because he's damaging her campaign, just like Joe Biden damaged her campaign when he called everyone who votes for Trump or supports Trump garbage. So this is his little way of doing this. But you know why he did this? Take a look. So this has been going viral. Breaking. The Kamala Harris campaign has told Mark Cuban to stop doing interviews on behalf of the Harris campaign. So they've
Imagine how down bad you have to be that the Kamala campaign, who are experts in crashing out. And you know what? I'm not even saying this respectfully. I'm just saying that Kamala Harris is a candidate. She's not good, man. I've said this several times. And you know why I've said this several times? Because there's another individual who is campaigning for Kamala Harris that is actually extremely good, that a lot of people actually believe should be the candidate. And he is going to be up on the screen in a second or two, that is doing way better than, well, he wasn't doing as great before, doing way better than Kamala Harris herself. His name is Barack Obama. Barack Obama is a fantastic candidate, y'all. I'm not just saying this because he's black. I'm not just saying this because I'm saying this because he's a fantastic candidate. He knows how to speak to people. He is charismatic. So you see Donald Trump. Barack Obama is a more polished, more charismatic version of Donald Trump. Why did Obama win 2 election cycles? He's a better politician, y'all. Better politician. Better politician. And when you see him campaigning for Kamala Harris, you're like, we got to deal with this bitch? Okay, that's kind of disrespectful. That's the root. We got to deal with this shorty? What? Like, what? That's like getting chocolate cake, and then next meal, you have to get a salad. Keep in mind, I love chocolate cake. I don't love salads. But guess what? The salad might be better for you in an instant more than the chocolate cake. You feel me? What I'm getting to again, man, half the reason Joe Biden got elected was because of Barack Obama. Do you understand how much aura you have to have that you get your side chick clouded up? That's called aura, y'all. You can't fake that, can't mistake that. Back to the main point of what I'm saying. Again, Obeezy is that he's that guy. And the candidate who they have, meaning Kamala Harris, is so not that woman or that girl that they have to bring out the old MFer to do it to do what he does best. Kamala Harris is a beautiful woman, man. Absolutely she is. Trash politicians, I'm sorry. And if she somehow wins, that is more of an indictment on Donald Trump, because if you wasn't able to beat the trash, what does that say about you? We gonna see, man. We're about 48 hours away. So her, as bad as she is, she's saying, Mark Cuban, don't represent me. I'm done with you. Go ahead.
knifed him because he's not helping her campaign. His nonsensical ranting about whatever it is he wants to talk about. He's trying to become this, top
I'm gonna be right back.
Democrat shield, which he already is. But because he, misspoke, as they like to say it wasn't in the full context. Well, now He's been shot down. They don't want him anymore. They've thrown him out. They don't want this celebrity endorsement. They don't want him speaking for the campaign anymore because he doesn't have a filter. He's going to say these things and keep making these mistakes. And so he's been kicked off of Kamala Harris's campaign, which I find absolutely hilarious. Now, this isn't the only thing that has gotten, the media, backlash. It is, I don't know what's happening, but it seems like a lot of people are just, they're having no problem now trying to say the truth. And of course, CNN won't put these clips out. The clip that they have does, with the guy that Jonah Goldberg, I believe his name is, that was walking it back. They don't have that on their site. You have on their YouTube or anywhere. You have to actually take the clip from his Twitter in order to get clarification. But there's also going around this hoax that, Trump is trying to influence the election and try to say there's election interference. He's trying to set people up to say that he didn't lose and all of this noise because he's challenging what happened in Pennsylvania. And he's challenging that they were closing in Bucks County. They were closing the polls early, and all the left were saying, this is, what I said, all these things are just Trump trying to, interfere with the elections, disinformation, all that. But lo and behold, it was actually true.
Now, I know that a lot of you today have seen these videos of people being turned away at the polls in places like Delaware County and Bucks County. And last night, we even saw one of our great local leaders, Val Biancaniello, arrested at the polls for telling people to stay in line. All she was doing was telling folks, stay and vote. They took her away in handcuffs. Folks, here's what's happening. Democrat election officials are seeing our numbers. They're seeing our turnout. They are seeing us breaking early vote records across Pennsylvania. They are terrified and they want to stop our momentum. We are not going to let them suppress our votes. We are going to fight. I'm proud tonight to tell you that the Trump-Vance campaign has just filed a huge lawsuit against Bucks County for turning away our voters. We are going to fight this thing in court, and all we ask of you is to stay in line. Donald Trump needs your votes. Donald Trump needs Pennsylvania, and America needs Pennsylvania.
Washington Post has a show which we know is a liberal bastion of derangement. This is one reason why many of them quit and were so upset that they couldn't endorse Kamala Harris. They couldn't endorse the Democrat for the umpteenth.
We're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this home stretch goes in. Again, my prediction is that it's smarter and wiser that the Donald Trump campaign and the Donald Trump sycophants, which Melanie King is. Melanie King is obviously a sycophant. When I say a sycophant, like, she's on Donald Trump's knob. I'm not mad at her because I understand why a lot of black people, even black women, would not buy into the Kamala nonsense. I fully get that. I fully understand that. But Melanie, you are sometimes blindsided by your hatred of the Democrats and the Kamala Harris campaign. My thing is, this is gonna be either really close or a mother effing landslide. I say again, I think Donald Trump is gonna win this by a landslide. I've said that many times, and I'm sticking consistently to it. But there is a chance, and I might clip this into a mini short. There is a slight chance that Kamala pulls off the craziest upset we might have seen in political history. We're at 3 hours, man. Shout out to me. Shout out to y'all for coming vibe with me. 1:35 a.m. Eastern, man. Who would have thought? And I'm streaming again at 11:15 Eastern. Come rock with me, football content. But we here.
Time in a row, like no surprise that they're going to endorse them because Jeff Bezos put a squash to that. He said, no, we're no longer going to endorse this. And they were so outraged by it, but they still have the machine going. They still have the disinformation going. But my goodness, take a look at what happened when they were called out on it.
Well, I've just got to say, we're news people, even though we're at the opinion section. It's got to be reported. Bucks County was reversed by the court and instructed to open up extra days because they violated the law and told people to go home. So that lawsuit was brought by the Republican National Committee and it was successful. The Supreme Court ruled that Glenn Youngkin was successful. We are news people, even though we have opinions, and we have to report the whole story if we bring up part of the story. So yes, he's upset about Bucks County, but he was right and he won in court. That's the story.
I'll let you keep going, Jonathan.
No, I don't appreciate being lectured about.
Shout out to the neck roller.
Reporting when many times you come here saying lots of things that aren't.
I will come back.
You know what's crazy? I think this might have been my most successful stream that I've ever done. And the crazy part is I have to leave like literally right now. That's the most insane part of this whole thing, right? Absolutely nuts. I don't have to leave right now, but I should.
Jonathan, I'm done. I'm done.
Get in the chat. Let me know if I should stay for a bit
This
longer.
is the most unfair election ad I have ever been a part of. You guys are working. That's fine. I'm done.
So Ruth, you wrote a column this week ending with this line, and actually I think this is perfect. We're going to put it on the screen. You wrote, "You want to know the stakes of this election? Not only democracy, but decency." Talk more about that, Ruth.
Okay, I'm collecting myself.
Oh, Ruth froze.
The irony of that movement. The irony of that is that he just insulted somebody who was on a different political side than him, which is a right winger. And then he tries to get the left winger, the person who's on his political side, with him. And she and her screen froze. That's the irony. That's crazy. Life is funny that way.
Ruth is frozen. So hang in there, everyone. We're going to see if we can try to get Ruth back to this very. We're gonna get Ruth.
I'm gonna clip a lot of this stream tonight.
Back in a moment. This is First Look, Washington Post Live's nonstop shop for news and analysis, and Ruth is back. So I'm going to read that quote back again from your column, Ruth, where you wrote, "You want to know the stakes of this election? Not only democracy, but decency." We lost her again. Everybody, if you've been watching First Look, you know that these conversations can be interesting, contentious. You just saw Hugh Hewitt leave the conversation, which is lamentable, unfortunate. It is what it is.
Now we've seen multiple hoaxes have been debunked, but there's plenty more. You will be surprised how many people do not know the truth behind these types of things. And once the main headlines are done, most people don't go back to check. They just eat it up, like the Democrat vomit sickle, whatever is fed to them like sheep, they're just going to believe it. But this site, I want to encourage you to check it out and also share this with any friends or family. It's called the American Debunk. And they go through and debunk any of the false stories about Trump. This is where they are debunking the whole Liz Cheney thing. As soon as a hoax comes out, the bloodbath one, the drinking the bleach, the fine people hoax, which is absolutely amazing how they dismantled that. The October 24th Atlantic hoax.
For me, it's impressive they even have a whole site that's dedicated to that. It's called American debunk. That's nuts. Let's
So
go.
they go through and they debunk these things. So this is where you want to go to look at what the real information is, what is actually being said. And we've got to start pushing back because we know mainstream won't. And thank goodness that Elon Musk bought Twitter and, X, whatever you want to call it. And he is a voice that is, mainstream, that is fighting against this and owning a platform like Twitter.
I'm putting American debunk in the chat.
Is very important. We know that, Kamala and the left, they absolutely hate free speech. This is one of the things she wants to silence free speech. This is something I put in a video yesterday. She has said it over and over. Tim Walz has doubled down on it. Hillary Clinton, they talk about it's disinformation. Only disinformation comes from the right. This is why the whole story, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, with more hoax and disinformation, where the New York Times and the Washington Post on the same day try to basically silence the right, silence any type of right-leaning pundit mostly on YouTube, and say that they were disseminating misinformation or disinformation about the election and wanting YouTube to silence them. And it was featuring Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, about 30 right-wing people. They didn't say that, the mainstream puts out disinformation. They didn't go into how the left puts out disinformation. Just any opinion that they don't agree with, they claim is disinformation with barely any evidence. And it's not disinformation, but it's just information they don't like. And it's just bizarre that the same day the Washington Post and the New York Times did the same thing. But essentially, YouTube told them to go F themselves and that they didn't find anything that violated their community guidelines. And so I know that really hurt because they thought right before the election, because she's losing. Again, all these hoax and all these things that they're trying to do to silence the right, they're doing it because the writing's on the wall. So they've got to just throw anything at the wall so it can stick and try to get people to not vote for Donald Trump.
So I kind of get what she's saying, but at the same time, I'm thinking, let's be real right now. What is the goal here? The goal here is for the other side to win the election. So if it wasn't Donald Trump, if it was Ron DeSantis, if it was Nikki Haley, they would have had these type of attacks. It just so happens that Donald Trump is in this position, right? So my thing is, again, as much as Melanie is going hard at the media, for the most part, is going to be left wing, and it's mostly going to pick their positions and go accordingly. So it don't matter about who's the target per se. Do you understand me? So her points are kind of invalid here because Donald Trump is not some innocent wildflower. He's done and said some very out of pocket things. But also, that's why a lot of people are fans of him, because he's not a typical politician, because he is out of pocket. So if you invite that energy, you have to be okay with what comes with it. And when Melanie holds water and defends him, it kind of loses some of her credibility. But a lot of her criticisms for the left are accurate. And I believe in it because we have a similar thing up here in Canada. Let's go.
But it's pretty much over. And when YouTube told them, F you, we're not going to do that. We're not going to silence people, and especially just silence people on the right because you don't like what they have to say. They haven't violated anything that are part of YouTube's terms of service. So go F yourself. And that's what we need to do on November 5th.
November 5th, y'all have to vote. If y'all about your guy, Donald Trump, go vote at an excessive level to win.
Tell Kamala Harris to go F herself, and the Democrat machine, these celebrities, which are mostly tied to Diddy endorsing her, and
she put Diddy in this. She finessing.
The mainstream media, because I cannot wait to see the complete meltdown.
It would be funny, yeah.
We're going to have content and entertainment for days.
So yes,
I will run up the content when that happens. But I will say this, because I really got to go. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. We literally have been here till 1:45 Eastern time zone, man. Crazy. Crazy. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. It's been Big JTV, man. Yeah, I mean, Trump versus Kamala Harris, who wins? I've obviously told you that I think Trump is going to win, but I've laid also the groundwork for Kamala to win. So we're going to find out after Tuesday or maybe later who is going to win the presidency. And as somebody who's in Canada, as a Canadian, that's going to affect us too. But we're going to see, man. It's been Big JTV, man. I appreciate, love each and every one of y'all for tapping in with me. Appreciate y'all for vibing with me. Full podcast will be on Patreon. The YouTube one will be heavily edited and not fully there. I'm just keeping it real. This full stream will not be fully on YouTube. It is what it is. Y'all know what it is. I'm gonna let you know what it is. That's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen? The full stream will be on Patreon. Okay? And y'all check out the Patreon link and buy everything else. Love and appreciate y'all. Let's get it. And I'm out. Deuces. Almost 2 a.m. I'm out.